You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Some things happen fast, like a vacuum finding your lost earring. A dog reacting to the word walk. And settling up with friends on the PayPal app. Send and receive money in seconds. Access your balance to send, shop, pay bills, and more. Download the PayPal app to get started. An account with PayPal is required to send and receive money. A PayPal balance account is required to hold and use a balance.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, pricing valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome in to another Monday evening on the Birds of the Roundtable here on the Eagles Pin Pull Network. Joining me, as always, we have David at David Neese PHL. David, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Looking forward to going through the schedule. I really haven't done much looking of it. When he said that we were just going to throw things at us, I didn't even really look. I'm not a guy who really cares about the schedule that much. I'm going to go to every game at their house any way you look at it, so I don't really worry about it that often.
There you go. I'm a little bit of the opposite. It's kind of like my off-season, not Christmas. Maybe it's like New Year's because it's right after the draft. It's fun. It's fun time either way. Also joining Deibs at Mr. Crockpot. What is going on,
gentlemen? Good to be here.
We're ready to go over the schedule that just got released last Thursday officially. Although all week we were seeing schedule leaks, and I don't even want to call them leaks anymore because they're officially dropped by the NFL at strategic times, talking about their international games or their primetime games or what have you. And the Eagles seem to have quite a bit. Now, I think the word primetime, I don't really like to use that word. I like to use kind of standalone. Because now with everything, there's Saturday games, there's, London games at 9:30 in the morning, like, you know what I mean? So the Eagles had 8 or 9 standalone games during their schedule, which is pretty remarkable. So they're going to be the only NFL game on TV for 8 or 9 times during their schedule. But we are going to be going over game by game, predicting wins and losses. I know it's super early, but we like to do this early, and then we'll kind of do it as the season gets a lot closer and kind of see, where we are. Maybe we're completely different. Maybe we haven't changed a bit, or maybe, we're more confident. Who knows? So we'll get to each game, and we'll get to our wins and losses. Brett Eclipse checking in. What's going on, buddy? He says his low end is 11-6. My high end is 13-4. Yeah, I think I did a reaction on Friday to the schedule, and I want to say I had him at 13 or 12 wins. Couldn't remember which. Dr. Mudo says 13-4. Last two games, losses by the backups. Ooh,
Love it.
Even more confident. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, why don't we get started here with our predictions? Let's go game by game, week by week, and let's see what we have. First is a home game, which we haven't opened up against Washington at home in quite some time. Washington at home. David, I'll start with you. What do you got?
Well, it'll be the first time that all of us get to see the revamped Sean Mannion-led offense, and it's cool that it'll happen at Lincoln Financial Field. All of us have been waiting all offseason to see their new look, to see how their attack is going to be unleashed. And, it's going to be on display, like you said, for, I think, only the second opening day in Philly over the last 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
yeah, I'm going with the W. I think the Eagles' offense shows out in week one and sparks a frenzy amongst the fan base. I'm going to kind of go back 13 years, which is crazy. It's 13 years. And say that it'll be the kind of opener vibes that Chip Kelly had when he shocked the league. Yeah, I mean, if y'all remember that opener, it was in D.C., but man, I mean, I don't remember what it was at halftime, but they were rolling. They were throttling. It was definitely an offense.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what the heck was about to be unleashed that night. Only this time, I think our coordinator will be able to maintain it a little longer than Chips did.
Oh, there you go. Gotta love it. Deibs, what about you?
Yeah, spoiler warning. I remember this time last year, looking back, I remember not being high on the Eagles. I think I only had them at like 10 wins. And I remember taking a lot of hate about that during that show. Spoiler warning, this is a lot different. I don't know what it is, but I'm just much more positive about this team this season. But man, you got to love this matchup with Washington. It's not a cupcake by any means. Washington has one of the most dangerous offenses on the entire schedule. They're a top 10 passing EPA offense, a team that loves chunk passes, around 12 to 14% of their dropbacks. But man, I'm just looking at Jalen Carter in this matchup, playing for a massive contract, and a team against a team that allowed around 35% of their pass plays of pressure. So I think this is a big Jalen Carter game, making a statement in week one. And you look at that Commanders interior O-line. I'm really excited about Jalen Carter in this matchup. And then you look at, Jalen Hurts. Washington is going to throw a ton of simulated pressures, a ton of disguised blitzes against him week one. And we know it. And what a matchup for Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion to kind of flip the narrative. For me, I'm going to W.
All right. Well, it's a good thing we have 16 more of those, although I don't know if we'll have enough time to go over in such depth, considering the first game is months and months and months away. I also could go with the W. I kind of agree with David. I think the Sean Mannion offense is going to want to make a statement and come out all cylinders firing. So there you go. Week 2 at Tennessee, to which I can confirm I will be at. I'm very excited to be going to this away game. Deibs, I'll start with you. Hopefully, won't have a novel, but what do you think about this game?
Yeah, just real quick, W. I think the matchup to watch in this one is Saquon versus a lot of stacked boxes. And the Titans are going to load the line of scrimmage and dare Jalen Hurts to beat them over the top. The Titans allowed 4.2 yards per carry last year. So we'll get a really good glimpse of where this Eagles offensive line is at. and how they handle stacked boxes and whether Saquon has his groove back. So for me, I'm going to W.
All right. Maybe we should remake that a movie.
No.
Got his groove back. David, what about you?
I will also be joining you in Nashville for that week.
Oh,
So we'll have to catch up down there. But I mean, what's better than Go Birds on Broadway? Nothing.
100%. Let's go.
The only negative to all this is the Eagles have never won in Nashville. So this is the last year that stadium is open. They start their new stadium next year. So what better way than to close it out with finally getting the Philadelphia win there? So we can treat them the same way we got treated at our vet with
Absolutely.
with the loss for them. So yeah, I agree with Deibs. Strong defensive performances by both sides. You know, Tennessee led the league or was top tier in pressure last year. So they're definitely going to bring it, and it will be a really big test for the O-line.
I love how when Brad said that idiot DB who I can't remember, I honestly, that doesn't really narrow it down. We've had a good amount of them over the years. So, yeah, no, this
Kevin
is going.
Byard?
Yeah.
Did he come from Tennessee?
No,
I don't know who else he'd be talking about.
I don't know. But yeah, this is an easy dub. I'm certainly excited to kind of see Carnell Tate with Cam Ward. I think that's going to be a nice wide receiver quarterback duo in this league to come. So we'll get kind of an early look at it. So yeah, super excited about that game for sure. And then we stay on the road and we have a tough matchup Monday night. Bears, week 3. This one's going to be tough. It's at Chicago. The Bears got us last year. Everybody remembers Ben Johnson ripping off his shirt and pumping his chest a little bit. I hope, the Eagles are ready for a little revenge. I am still going to say a victory for the Eagles. I think Chicago maybe takes a smidge step backwards this year. David.
Yeah, I mean, it's last year. I think we played them on Black Friday, right? It was an embarrassing loss. They got nothing going. They got dominated on the line of scrimmage. It's one of the few times the whole year that Fangio was overmatched and simply had no answers. But I think they'll get the last laugh on this game. I'm going Eagles to start off 3-0.
Nice. Deibs, what do you go?
3-0 for David. I think the first 2 weeks will be, all about Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion and the Eagles' offensive line cementing, their return to form in 2026. But I look at this one, I'm actually going to the flip side. I love the Ben Johnson take, but I'm looking at that Chicago offensive line, and I want to see the Eagles pass rushers make a massive statement in this one. Nolan Smith, Moro Jomo, Jalen Carter, Jonathan Gennard, all those guys. That is a Chicago offensive line that can be beaten. So for me, I think this is going to be close. I think the Eagles get the W.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Then we come back home. LA has to travel across the country for a 1:00 matchup, which I'm very excited about. A nice 1:00 game on a Sunday. LA Rams coming into town. Dives, will stick with you. What do you got for the Rams coming to the link?
Same thing. First 2 weeks was offense. These next 2 weeks are all about the defense and how Vic Fangio and this defense can handle the Rams offense, which we all know is dominant. They are just such a lethal offensive play action and motion and explosive plays. They are elite in so many different areas. And can the Eagles create takeaways in this one will be massive. So I'm looking at the Eagles safeties versus the Rams deep play action shots. And we'll see. But I think this has got to be the Jalen Carter game, like we saw in the playoffs a couple years ago. I think they get the W.
All right, David, what about you?
Philadelphia's owned this matchup for years, but the margin of victory has been slimmer the last couple times they've played them. I mean, Sean McVay still struggles with Sirianni, hasn't figured him out, but a blocked field goal by Jordan Davis as time expires to secure another win is pretty unlikely in my mind. The Birds would have to play 4 quarters of football to leave the field victorious, so I'm going with their first hiccup of the season, and it will be a loss, and I'd prefer it to get the hell out the way now than in the postseason.
All right, there you go. So David has the first loss of the season to the Rams. I am actually going to stay on the winning train here. I think it's a close matchup. I think the defense comes up big, and they eke out another victory. Probably not as close as last time, but still, yeah, they do. For whatever reason, the Eagles have owned the Rams lately. So, all right, week 5, we travel all the way to London, and we play overseas against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 10:30 a.m. game Eastern Standard Time here, but what do we got for week number 5, David?
Yeah, last time we were in London, it was Carson Wentz. I think it was 2018, the year after they won the Super Bowl.
It was.
And they pulled it out. That was at Wembley Stadium. This time it's at, I'll probably butcher this, Tottenham. I don't know how you say Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But not only do the Eagles have a really strong fan base internationally, but there are also going to be thousands of people taking a flight to invade the UK. They're going to have a home field advantage, despite the fact that'll likely be Jacksonville's home eventually. But the Eagles are going to win this one. I don't know what it is, but I'm just never picking Jacksonville to beat Philadelphia, so I'm not doing it here either.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, it was they beat Jacksonville 24-18 in October of 2018. So, Deibs, what about you? The London matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a sloppy game. I feel like this is going to be just, again, one of those international sluggish offensive performances that we're used to seeing. This has to be a Saquon game. Jacksonville is one, I think, that likes to run a lot of light boxes and are known to give up explosive runs. So I'd like to see Saquon here. This one, I honestly go back and forth on because the Eagles are currently 4-0. I feel like they might maybe look past this matchup. But I'm going to go W. Close win, W.
Yeah, listen, I think they are all business in London, and they take care of it with a W. I was about to bring this up from Brett Eclipse. What do you guys think of, speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, there's been a new rumor. Who knows whether it's actually true or not, but, people certainly get bored and need to talk about something. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have been kind of linked a little bit to A.J. Brown. There's been talks of trading their young receiver, Brian Thomas Jr. Any thoughts on this new updated A.J. Brown rumor?
No, I can't wait till June 2nd, so this is all over with. I'm sick of listening to it.
Well, couldn't agree more, but
I've heard nothing about that whatsoever. There's about 5 teams in on him, so it's never just been New England. It's been Kansas City, the Rams.
No, absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot more teams. Nobody would be willing to give a first-round pick if they were bidding against themselves. That's not what's happening here. There's 5, 6 teams involved.
So what about potentially Brian Thomas Jr. getting added to the already busy wide receiver room?
Prior to the draft, I would have loved this. I was a huge fan of his during the draft. I don't know the fit now, but hell, sure, if they want to give up a pick and him because they don't want to pay him eventually, bring him on.
Yeah,
great player.
You imagine?
He's the next, right?
Yeah, Smitty, Brian Thomas Jr. and Lemon.
That'd be nice. It'd be fun.
That'd be a nice run. But yeah, I agree with you, David. I cannot wait for about 2 weeks from now. And we will be hopefully past all this, and we can at least figure out what the team's going to look like.
I mean, it's gotten so bad. TMZ is posting which Eagles came to his wedding or not. I mean,
I know
it's really reached ridiculous
it has.
proportions.
It has for sure.
Despite what they say, there were current Eagles players at that wedding. By the way,
Yeah, there were. Yeah. No, I know. All right, week 6, home against Carolina. This one is another 1:00. Big fan of that. Deibs, what about you? What do you say about Carolina?
Yeah, I like the Eagles wide receivers in this matchup with the Panthers secondary. I look at Devontae and Mekhi Lemon, perhaps Brian Thomas Jr. As also we'll see. I think the Eagles, this could be flipped in so many ways, given their history against Carolina. I think it's another close game. I'm going W.
David?
the Eagles almost lost to them 2 years ago when they played them during the Super Bowl season. I think they're a hungry team. I think the Eagles' decision to choose not to take the bye week coming back from London will affect them more than they are probably counting on, and I'm going with a jet lag loss here.
Yeah.
4-2.
That's actually, I have the same thing. I think, not having that traditionally, when a team is coming back from London, they get the bye and they get the little extra rest there just due to the international travel. And I don't think that was the wise decision. I think they're going to end up paying for it. It's going to be a close game, but ultimately, I think they get their first loss here at home against Carolina. So, Deibs is all in.
By the way, I'm usually not the positive one.
No, that's true. That's true. All right, week 7, we got our first matchup with the Cowboys. Home Monday nighter. Already took off of work Monday and Tuesday. Deibs, what do we got for Dallas coming into town?
Man, it's going to be such a fun matchup. Again, you're starting to see the trend. I remember a couple years ago, every one of these like pregame kind of picks for player of the game, it was almost always Jalen Carter. It's another Jalen Carter game for me. Looking at that Dallas offensive line, I think Jalen Carter has a massive one. Flipping it over to Jalen Hurts, same thing. The Cowboys, like Washington, you're going to see a lot of simulated blitzes, safety rotations, overload pressure. So great test. Can Jalen Hurts cut back on the turnovers? Hold on to the football. We'll see. Get rid of the ball fast. Great test for everyone across the board. We're going W.
Nice. All right, David. Monday Night Football. What do you got?
Yeah, it's the first showdown with the Cowboys and also the start of a 3-game straight NFC East stretch there. Like they're playing the whole division right there. So the NFL loves featuring this matchup. It's going to be, a hard-fought game, but I agree with Deibs. Jalen Carter was dismissed from the home opener last year in front of the Philly fans, and he's going to want to show what they missed out on and play his rear end off. So I expect it to be a big Jalen Carter game as well.
Gotcha. I actually am going to go with a surprising loss here. We usually split with Dallas, and it's they have a tough matchup later down in the schedule, and I just if I had to choose between the two, I would say this is the one that I think might be the loss. So I surprisingly have them losing 2 in a row here. All right, we'll get back on the road here, going to the one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. We're going down to Washington. It's a Sunday Night Football. So we're back-to-back primetime games, Monday night to Sunday night. November 1st, week 8. David, Washington, in Washington.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're not playing them twice in 3 or 4 weeks like we did last year. I absolutely hated that. 7 weeks later, still a little close, but Washington does get the advantage of coming off its bye week before hosting the Eagles under the lights there. I don't know. That's a tough one. Like I said, I hadn't really looked at the schedule much prior to this, but I'm going to go with the win just because I just think the Eagles own that division. I just think they're a better team. I need to see more from the Commanders at this point. You know, maybe by week 8 during the season, it'll look a little different. But as it stands right now, I think Philadelphia is a much better squad.
Gotcha. All right. Well, apparently, yeah, some alien apparently stole my identity because I had 2 losses in a row. No, I during this season when we're actually going game by game, I am going to predict an Eagles victory like I
Right.
normally do.
It all changes.
Obviously, but this is another win, easy win. I don't like Washington. I don't think they did anything great this offseason. They had a halfway decent early draft, but they really didn't do anything to impress me in free agency. In fact, they lost a lot more than they gained. So I'm going to call this a sweep of the Commanders. Deibs, what about you?
That's a good one. If my gut feeling on this one is because I also agree the Commanders are going to struggle this year, and they're going to be kind of like doom and gloom right now, maybe like 2-5, 3-4, or something like that. And I feel like this is probably going to be their like Super Bowl win of the regular season. I feel like it's a close game and a rally by Washington. It doesn't make a difference in their season. But I feel like the Eagles get their first L in this one. Something to watch. The Commanders love heavy slot usage. So Cooper DeJean is going to be a big one to watch. The Commanders are always attacking linebackers and nickel defenders, whether that's like crossing routes or layered concepts. So DeJean will be a big guy to watch in this one. But I feel like the Washington Commanders are going to get their Super Bowl win during the regular season, and that's the first L.
Wow. There we go. First loss for Deibs. All right. We come back home to the first matchup with the Giants. Deibs, what do you got? You got 2 losses in a row or what?
No. I think the Eagles smoked the Giants in this one. The Eagles D-line should be able to handle the Giants O-line. Definitely something to watch. And I feel like Saquon Barkley, again, returned to form, getting back to his former 2024 self. This is a big game for him at home against the Giants. I think a big Saquon game and a big W.
Yeah, I think the Giants are certainly a team that is on the rise, but they're not there yet, and they're not there able to compete with the likes of the Eagles. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with an easy dub. David?
Yeah, third divisional game in a row. Another team coming off a bye, which is just insane. But Saquon Barkley consistently torches the Giants. I expect more of the same. Despite them being coached by a much more competent old friend in John Harbaugh, I just don't think they're quite ready to compete at this.
All right. All right. So through 9 weeks, Deibs is 8-1. David and I are 7-2. Week 10 bye. Eagles usually are pretty strong coming after the bye. We face Pittsburgh at home. A 4:25 start. David, I'll start with you. Lead us into the second half of the season. What do you got with Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, they just re-signed Aaron Rodgers, who's become quite the character over the last few seasons, but his level of play has tailed off quite a bit. Pittsburgh's still tough. They still bring, a really strong identity defensive team, but the Eagles just have a strong track record of winning bye weeks after Sirianni. And I sound like a broken record, but they're just a better team. at this, and they're going 8-2.
All right. There you go. W for David. Deibs, what about you?
Yeah, this one's all about the front seven of Pittsburgh versus Jalen Hurts. Pittsburgh has a really good pass rush, and they're going to get after Jalen Hurts, disguise blitzes, simulate pressures, all that fun stuff. So a great test for Jalen Hurts after the bye week to, get the ball out fast, get them to their playmakers in that new look offense. We'll see. But I like the history against Pittsburgh. I'm going W.
Yeah, it's definitely a W. I think at this point in the season, Aaron Rodgers is probably already on his way, off the field. So it should be a victory here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they're like they're like that one guy in your fantasy football league that doesn't realize that players age and keeps drafting players that were great 10 years ago. All right, week 12, Thanksgiving game, Dallas on Thursday, 4:30 start. Will this add to the Thanksgiving holiday or will it ruin it? David, what do you say?
I think it's the first time we've played there since 2014 on Thanksgiving. So another marquee matchup. The other one's in prime time. Philadelphia struggles at AT&T Stadium, and I don't know if the birds avoid being cooked this holiday season. So sadly, no. I think that our Thanksgiving Day will have a little hiccup and a little struggling. I think Cowboys are embarrassed being blown up a couple weeks earlier, and they take it out on us this Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right, Dives, what about you?
I agree. I think this will be a high offense game. And I think Dallas wins the turnover battle, and Dallas gets the win. So the Eagles L.
There's a reason why I had the loss in the first time, because the Eagles do not lose to Dallas on Thanksgiving. They are 2-0. David mentioned the 2014 matchup. I think that was 33-10. Shellacking. Quarterback at the time was Mark Sanchez. Yikes. But the first time was the Bounty Bowl. If you guys remember that, back in 19. Again, we're not losing. It's Thanksgiving. Let's all have some extra helping of some turkey and stuffing, because we're gonna be victorious on Thanksgiving. So, all right, week 13 gets the a little extra break, heading to Arizona to face the Cardinals in week 13, 4:00 start. Dives, what about you?
Yeah, you look at Arizona defensively, they're a team that gave up a ton of explosive plays. And by now, we will have a very good feel on whether or not the Eagles' offense is improving, not getting better, and can they get better? Can they get to the, not as good, but maybe somewhat to the explosiveness as they were in 2024 with big chunks on offense, gains, and whether that is, yards after contact and things like that. So it's going to be interesting. This could change because it's just my gut feeling between a W and an L. But as of now, I'm going W.
All right, David, Arizona.
Yeah, Philadelphia hasn't forgotten the ugly loss to the Cardinals during their epic 2023 season collapse, which was the last time they were there. And also some other losing ways at that stadium from a year earlier than that game. So I predict that the field is not waterlogged this time, and the Eagles defense eats and wins, and they're 9-3.
Yeah. Now I think this is they handle their business out in the desert, and they come home victorious. All right, week 14. If only coaches were all coaches were still, present. That would have been back-to-back former coordinators, Arizona and Indianapolis. But week 14, we come home to face the Colts for a 1:00 start. Yeah, David, what about you? Indianapolis.
Yeah, beloved former Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen returns to Philadelphia as a head coach. It should be a really good matchup featuring Devontae Smith versus Sauce Gardner, which should be a fun battle all day. I expect this game to be a really hard-fought battle as Shane is coming into town and wants this win as much as Nick does, but the Colts don't have the quarterback that the Eagles do, and that's just going to be a little too much for them to overcome. Eagles are now 10-4, another W.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. They just don't have the offensive, wherewithal to face off against this defense. So, Deibs, what about you?
Yeah, I mostly agree, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. You mentioned Shane Steichen, but the Eagles' offensive line versus their interior defensive line is going to be a great battle. Eagles barely win this.
All right. Now we get to week 15. Week 15, we're home, but this time it's a Saturday game. Again, one of these standalone games I talked about. 5:00 on a Saturday, a short week. The Super Bowl champions come to town. Deibs, what about you?
I'm looking for Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith to go nuts in this matchup. There's a defense that can give up a lot of explosive plays. Seattle likes to run a lot of physicality, press coverage, rotating safety looks there. So I really want to see Lemon and Smith cement themselves as the future of the Eagles wide receiver unit. W.
Okay. David?
Yeah, Seattle's the team who I just, for whatever reason, can't remember. They're the ones who just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
For whatever reason. But yeah, the Eagles have struggled historically with Seattle, and this would be a huge statement win for the Eagles to finally get that win. And I kind of agree with Deibs here. I expect the Eagles offense to break out on a Saturday afternoon matinee and get the W here and go 11-4.
All right. Now, I will say that, Brett was right, that Seattle has won 9 out of the last 11 meetings, and they just seem to have the Eagles number. But I'm with you guys. I'm going W. I just think this is, again, they're traveling all the way across the country, coming into a unfriendly environment, and yeah, I don't think they come out victorious. So, all right, final 2 games here. Week 16, San Francisco. We fly all the way out to the. Wait,
I'm missing one. I
was going to say Houston.
I just realized
Christmas Eve.
Houston's week 16. That's Christmas Eve. I was just about to say that didn't look right. So another Thursday night matchup, Christmas Eve home game. This one, I know a lot of my tailgate friends are already wanting to sell this game, but we shall see. While Deibs fixes this. Houston, Christmas Eve. David, what do you got?
What is my record right now? What do I have the Eagles at?
You're at
3,
9, 10, 11-3.
11-3. Yeah. It's another short week turnaround created by the joyful NFL schedule makers. I know the lead for this story is going to be all of the over-unders for how many snowballs will be thrown at Santa, but I expect Jalen Hurts to face his hometown team and play very well in an extremely physical matchup, and I believe they'll have a lot of importance riding on this game. So I expect to win. They ruined our Thanksgiving, but Christmas is going to be much more joyous.
All right. Love it. All right, Deibs, Houston.
Yeah, I just feel an L. I just feel, I don't know why. Just give me the L.
Now, I think, I think this is probably the last meaningful game for the Eagles. And at this point, they should be playing for something. So give me a W. All right. Now we can fly out to San Francisco for a third straight standalone game. This time we got Sunday Night Football, so we got a little extra rest. Week 17 at San Fran. Deibs, what do you got?
I'm also going to L. Close game. I think the Niners in this one, getting the W means a lot more for the Eagles because obviously, given how the season has gone, I think at San Francisco, their pass rush, things like that, I think San Francisco gets the W in a close win.
All right, David?
Yeah. They head out back to the Bay, played next to the Power Field or whatever the hell they call that thing beside their stadium that they're blaming on so many injuries over there. But, we're at week 17 now. Health, playoff seeding kind of supersedes pride at this point. And I think the Niners probably need the win a lot more than the Eagles do at this stage, especially if they're 12-3, how I had them at this point. So I'm expecting a little bit of a letdown. I still think they'll be playing their starters at this point, but I'm going with the loss in Santa Cruz or wherever the hell they play their games.
Yep. Yeah, I'll agree with you on this one, guys. Loss to San Fran. I think, like I said, I think at this point, the Birds should have things pretty much wrapped up. And they're just kind of going through the motions for San Fran. So, all right, we've made it to our last week, week 18. But we don't know exactly when this game will be. Most likely it'll be flexed out and not on prime time and or a standalone game. Just considering that New York will most likely already be well out of the playoffs and the Eagles won't have anything to play for. Deibs, what do you think at New York? We're going up to MetLife.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Eagles will take the L here, but I think the Eagles will need to win, and they will, to get 13 wins and, that second seed or something along those lines. So I'm going to W. Backups play well.
All right, David?
Yeah, the Giants are hoping they'll be fighting for a playoff spot of their own at this point, or at the very least, they hope that they're at least playing spoiler. I think the Giants still lose to the Eagles' backups and what will be Tanner McKee's final game as a Philadelphia Eagle.
Very nice. All right. Yeah, unless I just don't think the Eagles' backups have enough to get the victory. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the loss. Yeah, Andy Dalton will most likely be the one playing that game, not Tanner McKee.
That old man is not going to be playing week 18.
We really did this. And
well, when we trade Tanner McKee, we'll have to play Andy Dalton.
Cole Payton time, buddy.
Yeah, maybe.
There is no advantage to playing an Andy Dalton week 18.
You're not wrong. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Looks like somehow, some way, we all came up with 13-4 of our initial reaction. Good Lord knows that'll probably change as the season goes, gets closer. But that's the initial, the initial reaction. We all had, losses in different spots here and there. So glad it all came to 13-4.
What's your floor? Like, I think 11-6 is the floor of this team, unless something catastrophic happens.
I agree. I think their schedule lends them, some, easy victories. Although, again, they certainly don't have the luck in playing teams off the bye. and they don't seem to get the rest that they need in certain spots. But I still think this team is good enough to overcome most of that.
For me, it's all about the offense and becoming more efficient, especially on first down and second down and reducing the third and longs. I do think they're going to fix that issue this year and just becoming a more efficient, time consuming offense that not dissimilar to the Chiefs when Mahomes went from like an extremely explosive offense to a more efficient offense. That's what I'm hoping we see in 2026. And I think we will.
All righty. Well, there you have it, folks. There is our final early prediction for the Eagles schedule. Appreciate you guys all for chiming in. Deibs, what say you? Are we going to press on, or are we going to?
Let's run through it quick.
Okay. All right.
Is that cool?
We do have some prop bets that we are going to now go through. But we've got a little time here. I'm sure Deibs didn't go absolutely crazy like normal and make like 5 billion of them. So we got some prop bets. We're going to quickly go over first instinct. We're going to just go ahead and give our answers here. So why don't we get started here with a very first one? And this is a simple yes or no. Eagles will win the NFC East. Deibs.
Yes.
All right, David.
Yes.
That's 3 yeses. All right. Next up, another simple yes or no. Eagles to win the NFC. David.
Yes.
I'm also going to say yes.
I will say no.
Okay. All right. Offensive player of the year, Deibs.
Jalen Hurts.
David.
Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. Defensive player of the year. David.
Cooper DeJean.
Deibs.
What do you think?
Jalen Carter. Come on, like we all didn't know. I'm gonna say Q.
That's a great one. It was for me, it was Carter or Q.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget. The Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.
All right, breakout player of the year, Deibs.
Nolan Smith.
Okay, David.
Just to be different, I'm going Andrew Makuba. It would have been Nolan Smith. I just think he's ready to break out, but Makuba was about to break out prior to his injury, even as a rookie.
Yeah. Oh, boy. You guys took a couple of good ones there. Jalen Hunt. Random practice squad player that becomes a Philly legend. Jesus God, we do this way too much. David, who do you got?
I'm gonna go Stone Smart. I don't know, man. He just has a great name. He's gonna show off in training camp, and everybody's gonna love him. And then Daquan Wright's gonna take his spot as the 4th tight end.
Well, that's who I was going to go with, Daquan Wright. I think he starts the year off on the practice squad, but somehow inches his way in.
I will go Deontay Lawson.
Like that. Love me a good linebacker. All right, Eagles will lead the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Yes or no, David?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to go with no as well, but they'll certainly be in the mix.
I'm going yes.
Oh, wow. Nice. All right. These are team over-unders. Regular season win total 11.5. I think we can all confidently say yes since we had him 13. Number of tush-push touchdowns, 18.5. I'm going down.
I'm going way down.
Yeah. All right. Defensive special teams touchdowns, 3.5. I'm going to go with under.
Under.
Yeah, the Eagles traditionally have been horrible.
There we go.
There we go.
What was that? Under?
Yeah, I went under.
David, did you go under?
Yeah. Everything is, for tush push under as well. We said no, but yeah.
Well,
I'm going over. Why not?
Okay. Total sacks by the defense, 51.5. I'll say over.
I'm going over as well.
All right, that's a clean sweep. Next up, we have 40 points scored in a game. We got 2.5 games. Oh, excuse me. Deibs, what do you got?
Over.
Yeah, I'm going to say over.
Over.
Yeah, I think the Eagles' offense is ready to blow up. Defensive takeaways, total takeaways, 24.5. It's hard to say yes to this one. I'm going to say under.
I'll also say under.
Yeah, I'm under as well.
All right, that makes me feel a lot better. All right, offensive over-unders, Jalen Hurts MVP voting.
So if he's top 3, it would be under. If he's not top 3, it would be...
Oh, okay. I'll go under.
I'm also under.
I'm going over.
I like it. All right, Jalen Hurts total touchdowns, 34.5. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm over too.
Over.
All right, passing yards by Hurts, 34.99.5. Love it. Jeez. I'll say under.
Under?
Yeah, gut's telling me under.
I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. I'm pretty sure he's gone over that number at least twice, so I'm going over.
Interceptions, 9.5. I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm going under as well. He's only thrown more than 9 once in his entire career, so
yeah.
Give me the under.
Fumbles lost.
Wait. I didn't do mine. I'm going to go over.
Okay. All right. Dive's going over. All right, Hurts fumbles lost 4.5. Ugh, that's a good line. I'll say under just because I want it to be.
I'll say under as well because at least we hope there's no hero ball and he's getting the ball out fast.
David?
Yeah, that's the best number there is, but sadly I'm going over. I think he averages 8 or 9 a year.
Well, then we're screwed.
I don't think he's ever had less than 8 in any season.
All right, Mekhi Lemon. We finally offer Hurts. Mekhi Lemon receiving yards. Over under 699.5. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to be a really important part of this up.
Yeah, I'm smashing the over. I think he's going to challenge for Devontae's 912 receiving yard record.
Ooh, love that.
I think he's going to be a primary third down target between him and Goddard, and those collection of plays is going to be the difference in this team.
All right. And then receptions, 59.5. I'm going to go over.
I will also go over.
David?
What is it? 59.5?
Yeah. I think he can get into the 6.
Yeah, I do as well.
All right.
I'm going to go with 72.
Ooh, I like that. Saquon time, rushing yards, over under 1299.5. I think it's over. I think we're going to be running the ball a little bit more than last year's. David, Deibs?
It's over for me. Easy over.
Okay. Deibs?
I don't think it's easy, but I'm going over. I think it's right around there, but I think we're going to see a more, it's going to be better, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. And then finally, total touchdowns for Saquon Barkley, 10.5. I am definitely going over.
Over for Ryan.
Yeah, I'm under.
I will also go under.
Okay. Devontae Smith time. Total receptions, 79.5. I'm going to go over.
Also.
Yeah, that's a really good number because it's probably like been his average if you go the 5-6 years here. That'd be 80. Yeah, I got to go over.
All right. There we go.
Not by a lot, though.
All three of us over. Devontae Smith total touchdowns over 40 yards. Is it 4.5 or more? I'm going to go with under.
Yeah, I'm under as well.
Okay, Deibs?
I mean, this is a guy who's like just made highlight reel after highlight reel of like unbelievable 40-yard bombs. Give me the over. I think this is a Devontae Smith year.
I agree, it is too, but I don't know. Something's telling me to go under on that one. All right, Dallas Goedert receiving touchdowns, 10.5. That's got to be an under.
I'm going on.
Under.
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 Dallas Goedert missed games. Ouch, 4.5. I'm going to go just for the sake of, I'm just putting it out into the universe. I'm going to say under.
To go under, but I think he has less usage, so under.
Okay, David.
Yeah, under. Though I do think with the extra depth, they'll be more prone to give them a dig game off if they need to. But
hopefully,
he's also playing for a contract yet again. So
also true as well. All right, Dontavian Wicks, total receptions, 19.5. This better be friggin' over.
Yeah, I think he almost triples it. I think he gets about 48, 55 receptions, 6 touchdowns, 700 yards. I expect him to have a big role.
Very nice. All right, moving right along to the over-unders for the defense. Hopefully this is the last category.
This is the last category.
Probably not. All right. Jalen Carter, total sacks, 5.5. I'm going to go over.
Strong over. Strong over.
Me as well. I think this could be the season he gets double digits.
I feel like this is the season, like he, whether that's money related or what, but he's going to finally like get his props. And it's been a long time. A long time coming.
All right. Next up. Over under. This was a 6.5 for Moro Ajomo. What did he have? 6 last year?
I think that was second best on the team, right?
Yeah. Everybody can increase. So I'll say under.
I like it. I'm going under.
Imagine Deibs put his special teams over under. Oh, no, I don't even want to know.
I'm under as well.
Okay. All right. Zach Bond, total interceptions, 1.5. I think he can get 2. Let's go over.
Also going over.
Yeah, I think 2 is the number. So, yeah.
Jordan Deibs. Total sack, 4.5. Well, that's a tough one, too. I'll say over. I think the Jordan Davis ascension is real. So I'll say he can get David.
How many is it? 4.5?
Yeah. It's a good one, though.
Yeah, I'm under. I think he gets 4.
All right. Total interceptions, 2.5. Cooper DeJean.
Smash the over.
Yeah, let's go over. And then likewise, Quinyon Mitchell, total interceptions, 0.5. Jesus.
I don't think he has a regular season interception, right?
I think he has the one, doesn't he?
If he does, he has 1, but he has more in the postseason. He had 2 just against the Niners.
There, I don't know.
I think he has 1.
No, he has 0.
Well, then either way, it's 5 times what Deibs put on that, at least.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go over. I'm going to say he gets one.
Yeah, I'm going to say he gets like 5. Smash it.
I would love that. Did Deibs make an over-under for every player on the roster, LOL?
We'll come back to it. It'll be hilarious to revisit
It
this.
always is. Jonathan Grenard, sacks 9.5. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to come in and light it up.
I am so with you, man. And this is a big part of why I think the sacks will be up this year. I think Grenard has a monster year.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I think he gets double digits. I think he's 10 to 12 range. Big fan of this signing or trade. Love it. You can smash the over for Nolan for me too. Over.
Yeah, the same. Nolan Smith over under 4.5. We all went over. Jahad Campbell 3.5 sacks. It's hard to kind of know what you're going to get out of Jahad Campbell as regard to rushing the passer. I'll say over just because I love linebackers and I love me some Jahad.
We're going under.
I'm going over simply because I think he'll be healthy, and if he is, he should get 5 or 6 of those.
All right, you got to love it when your over-under has only something to do with how many games you're going to miss. Andrew Makuba missed games 4.5. I'm going under. He stays healthy this year because God forbid we need him to.
Under as well.
All right, and Jalen's Hunt total sacks 6.5. That's a good line. I'll say over. I think he gets helped by having Grenard there.
I think it's right around there. I'm going to go slightly under.
That is a good line.
Yeah, I went 7.5, so give me the over.
All right.
We have this comment about a secret bet or bragging rights. I do think we should put something on the line. I don't know what that could be. If you know,
I'm down for somebody who has to do something embarrassing.
Or take a shot, like during a live stream or something, like every 30 minutes.
Man, that doesn't seem
I
like,
do that now.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like that much of a punishment, you know?
Just kidding.
So there we go.
Only 2 weeks ago. The only time I ever did. 2 weeks ago.
Wink, wink.
Hit them.
Yeah, we'll come up with something in the next, week or two. Agree and let you guys know what we're playing for.
Yeah, we could do like quarter season grades. We could do like half, like bi-week grades and revisit this and like laugh at ourselves. That'd be so fun.
Ryan has to send Kenny Gainwell a written apology for all of the trash stuff.
I mean, if that's the case, you might as well add every backup running back to that list and have me just send a mass, blind carbon copy email out to dear backup running back. I'm sorry I hated you.
I low-key hope Tank Bigsby has that same role in 2026.
I'm ready to love Tank Bigsby.
Oh,
he was the one guy you didn't do an over-under. What would be the over-under for yards for him for the season if you had to throw one?
And that's a good one. I don't even know.
249.5.
Oh, I'd smash the over on that one.
You think?
I do.
He's got to be an integral part of this offense. Has to be.
All right. 349.5.
I'm going to sound like a lunatic. I think he's getting like 700 to 800.
Damn!
I truly do.
Lunatic.
You think Tank Bigsby is going to get 800 yards?
I think we should have a bet just on this. By the way,
I do think he's probably going to get 700 plus rushing yards or yards.
I'm telling you right now,
I think he'll get a couple hundred receiving too.
If Tank Bigsby total rushing doesn't matter has 800 yards this season, the Eagles are an elite offense.
Yeah, I mean, I was going total yards. I think he's getting 700 to 800 total yards this year. I truly do. I think he's going to be more integral part of the offense than he was last year.
That was a big part of our previous shows. We talked a lot about Tank Bigsby. And if that happens, that means something's working. And you're utilizing Saquon Barkley more efficiently. I think it's less is more. And I think that would go a long way for this offense, whether that's their rushing attack or having 2 running backs on the field. That's really exciting. I love Tank Bigsby. He was amazing, and everything was all about why isn't he on the field more? So,
Yeah, this is my 2026 prediction, like I did Zach Bond. I am going 700 to 800 yards. I am laying it down. I think it's facts. Just like I thought Bond was going to show off in 24. I'm going with Tank.
All right. There you go. Love it. By the way, Bryson Stott just hit a home run to take the lead, and now somehow the Phillies might win yet another game they shouldn't have.
Don Mattingly, Coach of the Year already.
Seriously.
I've got the Spurs Thunder game.
There you go. I think that's it. Game over.
We nailed it.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. There is our record prediction after looking after the schedule. Game by game, we both had, or all 3 of us had 13-4. And then we did a little over-under, little prop bet sheet, so to speak, that we will revisit later on as the season, starts and gets on its way. And we'll gladly make fun of ourselves. We'll also figure out something to bet on, whether it's to embarrass one another or what. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out shortly. So, all right, that's it for us. We're going to head on out of here. Thank you all so much for chiming in and letting us know what your records were, what your prop bets were, what your over-unders were. We appreciate it. David, floor is yours. You got anything going on? Let the people know.
No, you can find everything I do at my X handle or phillysportsnetwork.com. I've probably teased it for a week or something, but I am releasing a piece on Jalen Hurts within the next couple of weeks. I had an opportunity to actually speak with them. I'm really excited about it.
Nice.
Probably about 1 or 2 weeks away from that, but it's a big reason why I'm so bullish on this offense as well, because he's uber excited and he's making me and everyone else excited.
All right, there you go. Check out that article when that hits. I'm sure we will all be retweeting that one out. Deibs, what do you got going on?
No, just thank you everyone for commenting and chatting throughout the show. We'll be back next week as well. Next week, we're talking our top reasons why the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and nobody knows each other's like pointers. We kind of react to it. Should be fun. And then we'll also be doing a concept where I will give you 5 players, David and Ryan, on players, and you have to rank them 1 through 5 on impact in 2026. You don't know which player comes next. So they're going to have to react and smartly put them in the order they want them to be, and they cannot move the order once they know the player. So it's a 1 through 5, and we'll have some fun.
All right, there you go. There you have it, folks. Well, thank you all so much for checking in with the Eagles Pinball Network for the Birds of the Round Table. We are going to be here every single week during the off season, coming at you with some fun things, not your normal topics, but kind of keeping things light. So stick with us, chime in. We always appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to be wheezing reviewing over those in 10 months. Yeah. We've had some really good times with those over the years, making fun of ourselves and our horrible predictions. So yeah, we'll revisit that one for sure. So as far as me, you can check out everything I do here. My show, Football Smack Talk Show, officially moved to Friday afternoons. So check that out, probably about 4:30 in the afternoon. Outside of that, that's all I got. So I think that's it for all of us here. Thank you all so much. Thank you. If you have not already joined the Eagles Pinball Network or followed or reviewed or whatever, make sure you do that. It does help us out quite a bit, and share it with your friends. So that's all we got. We will see you guys next week. So for David, for Deibs, for myself, this has been another Birds of the Round Table on the Eagles Pinball Network. Have a good night, everybody.